I got my Kickstarter in, so let's go ahead and compare these two types of tablescape or table tiles, right? So this is different than my comparisons of miniature bags, or I typically compare miniature mats because I'm kind of a terrain mat freak. But today we're going to talk about the fancier stuff. This is going to be miniature table tiles. So these are rigid tiles that you put down in lieu of a mat, in lieu of just kind of having an already scaped table. These are both plastic modular tiles, and they're fantastic products. So we're going to compare and contrast two types of products here. This is the Secret Weapon Tablescape tiles, and below that I actually have a mat here to kind of break up the gray because I didn't realize both products I have are painted gray. I have the Anima battle boards from Games and Gears, and this is the one that's hot off of the Kickstarter, so I figured we'll go ahead and compare them. Okay, so first up, the Secret Weapon Tablescape tiles. You guys might notice that I've used these quite a bit. I kind of arranged 4 tiles here. This is actually something I might do for Arena Rex because this is a nice battlefield for a small Arena Rex game. These tiles are really nice in terms of their texturing. You can see, let's close up on them. So you can see that it's a good 3D pattern in here. Lots of variation in these tiles. I am using basically four of the same tiles, but a full box of tablescape tiles is 24 tiles, and you get a lot of variation. You get, like, in this particular set, I believe this is called Lost City. You get graveyards, you get temples, you get tiled squares like this, covered in sand, covered in rubble. So these are fantastic. They're absolutely beautiful. They're lightweight, but they're rigid. They're good. They're good, solid construction here. And one of the main things, well, a couple things I really like about the tablescape tiles is one, the customization, because you can paint these any color you want. You can, with 24 tiles to make a 6x4, you can arrange them in a number of different ways, and they're going to look fantastic. The other advantage is the fact that modularity gives you the option to do 3x3, which is a little more difficult with the Anima tiles. However, it is possible. It's just a little more cumbersome. Now, me personally, I like to have my play area completely well defined. I don't really like playing on a bigger board and taping off. A lot of people do that, and that's very convenient. I'm kind of a stickler. Like, I want to know exactly what my play area is. So the ability to go 3x3 on this is quite nice. You can do two 3x3s quite easily with the tablescape tiles. Another thing is these are very, very lightweight. They're lightweight tiles. They're thin, but they're strong. And I appreciate that quite a bit. That makes portability and modularity really key here in the tablescape. I'm sorry, yeah, the Secret Weapon side of things. So one of the downsides that some people don't like, though, that I consider a plus, is the fact that you should paint these. Okay, so these come in, just standard gray. I'll flip them over so you can see. We'll talk about the clip system here as well. So you can see here's the back of the tiles, really nicely reinforced here, but the tiles come in this plastic gray, which then needs to be primed and painted. Some people don't like that. Some people want to buy a product and walk off and be happy with it. If you're in that camp, you don't want to mess with painting terrain or anything like that, then I suggest going with the Anima, or I'm sorry, the Games and Gears battle boards. Okay, another thing to point out here is the clip system. We're going to compare the clip system between this and the other game. So a 4-tile board like this uses 5 clips. You've got a center piece here, and then you have these single connectors here. So you've got crosses and singles. Let's go ahead and zoom in so you guys can see what I'm doing here. So let's zoom in here. Maybe I can't go that far with the close-up cam, sorry. All right, so there's an example of a connector here. You can see that And I'll pop this one out. You can see that they're grooved to just accept that connector, and these are the connectors. They're nice. They're designed to flex a little bit here so that they pop in nice and snug. I really like this system. So you could just pop it in there and you're good to go. You can see here's the other. So you have the plus. I mean these multi connectors here for larger connections. I really like this system a lot because again, it lends into the modularity and it's easy to do. It's easy to pop these in and out, but they stay fairly firm. Now, obviously, the more connections you have, the less stable your board is. I don't recommend flipping over the entire board. You know, if you did like a 4x4, you wouldn't be able to do this. Like, you wouldn't be able to flip it over. In fact, you could see that the board kind of partially came apart there. So that's the price that you pay. The other thing is, yeah, they're lightweight and everything, but they're not very high off the ground. They're not very thick. And sometimes, I know this is an aesthetic thing, sometimes you want to have something up above the surface of the table that makes it a little fancier, right? The little higher off you are the table, and I notice this setting up for a lot of conventions and demonstrations and stuff, the higher, you know, if you can be, you know, anywhere from say 1.5 to 3 inches off the board, it does make for a fancier, more 3D feeling experience. Okay, that said, absolutely love these. These are my go-to travel boards. I can play a number of different games here. Now, this is where the modularity in this particular set really has a strong point, is I can play almost every single game that I currently play. And you guys know, watching this channel, I play a lot of games. Okay, so for example, this is for Arena Rex. I could break it out and go 3x3. I could play Relic Knights. I could play Batman. I can play In Her Majesty's Name. There's just anything in the 3x3 category I can play. I can break this up to 4x4. Now we're talking Wrath of Kings, War Hordes, that kind of stuff. So, and the other thing I'll point out here is that with these tiled, some people don't like that they're tiled because, you know, there are some games that don't allow pre-measuring, but most modern games do. I like that these are tiled because I can play Super Dungeon Explorer on this. So there you go. There's another. I can even play board games on this tile, and it's fantastic. You know, really huge fan of this product. Good and Secret Weapon, fantastic company, great product, great customer service there. Okay, so we're going to move on. I just take this off the board. Oh, see how it just kind of came apart there as I moved it. And we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about this Games and Gears board, okay? But before we do that, I want to point out one advantage to the Games and Gears board that we see immediately, and that is that the Games and Gears boards are completely flat. That's a really nice thing, nice feature, depending on how you look at it. Now, I like to use lots of terrain, and I love that modularity of being able to put lots of terrain on. The Secret Weapon tiles do have texture. They do have terrain elements on them, and you can actually play using those terrain elements. You can interact with those terrain elements. That's how high or how deeply sculpted into those tiles they are, right? They're actually functioning terrain on the board, good or bad, depending on what you need. I like the idea that I can pop a mat onto this. I was just talking about, hey, I can't play a 3x3 on an Anima board because it's 4x4. The tiles are 2x2 in size. Well, I can actually, it just, you know, I would put I'd put a 3x3 mat over it. Or if I'm playing Eldorado, I'd put a 30x30. It's kind of sad that they have a Eldorado themed board, but they're 2x2 tiles. That doesn't quite work for Eldorado, but you can put a mat over the top, which is fantastic. So that's an option. Like these are nice sturdy boards. I can use this as actually, and I am using this right now to extend my 3-foot table into a 4-foot table. Okay, so that's quite nice. In fact, like if I wanted to, if I'm really playing a 3-foot game and I want my play area clearly delineated, perfect to just put this Games and Gears down and then throw the 3-foot mat over it. And now I have some area around the table, so extend it out to handle dice and that kind of stuff. Okay, so let's pull this off and let's look at this bad boy. All right, so here is, and I'm sorry I can't really get my camera much higher, but here it is. Here's the Anima battle board, and I just, I kind of threw this together. It's a little funky looking in terms of its actual arrangement here, but you can see this is the battle board, and let me just tell you, the pre-painting is quite nice. I haven't touched these boards at all, haven't done any painting. Now, it's still an option if I want to. If I want to touch up the boards, they're totally fine to paint, and they're going to look great doing that. These boards feel fantastic. They're really sturdy. I'll show you the backs in a minute here, and really good construction. The one thing that's interesting though is, I mean, with the Anima boards, you get these black kind of lines where the boards border. Let's switch over to the close-up here, because there are some really nice, there's some nice detail molded into these, so you can see this nice beautiful sigil here. Fantastic. And you can see that it's multicolored when it's painted. The texture is fantastic. Got kind of a matte finish to it. This out here is, I guess this is kind of like a light source or something. It could be a lake, could be like a, little vestige of power or something. This is what I'm talking about, these black borders here. So even though this tile is completely, it's a fairly blank tile, it's just kind of the brick inlay, you can see that it's got these weird borders there. I'm not too big of a fan of that. I understand the need for it because it's the modularity that you get. So I like this floating cam. So here's a floating aerial view of the board. These are nice. Now these boards, what I noticed with the Games and Gears boards is these are great kind of, they're a little more permanent. Like this is more semi-permanent than Tablescape is. Now you can just set up Tablescape on top of another board and leave them there. These, you pretty much, the way they fasten together and with how solid they are, you want them to be, you want to be able to use this board and leave it out. Okay, this board doesn't do well in terms of like, tearing down and putting back up and tearing down and putting back up. This is really high quality, like your display board. This is, if you guys are, if you guys are used to playing your weekly game and you guys play one system, let's say you guys are Warm Hordes players, right? You're going to leave this board up all the time, and you're going to play on this board all the time. That's not to say you can't do it with the secret weapon board, but in this board, because it stands everything up, and the way the clip system works, you want to leave it together. I don't know. I'm actually, now me being kind of a nomad and playing both in the store and at home and that kind of thing, I would rather have the modularity. But if I am going to leave a board out, this is the one to do. All right, so let's go ahead and look at the clip system. This is going to be difficult here. We might see the crash of this board, so I'm a little nervous to do this. But actually, you know what? How about we don't do it? Or we try to do it. So bear with me here. Oh. All right. Hey, look at that. Now that's not something you can do with the secret weapon. This is an advantage to Games and Gears here. So so you can see on the backs of the tiles here, they're all really well reinforced. And this sits about ½ inch off the table. So I was talking about that thickness kind of being an aesthetic factor, and also a structural factor. That thickness gives these boards a bit of an advantage in terms of structural integrity. Also, they give up modularity in terms of to give you a little bit more integrity as well. So let's go over to, we're going to zoom in on this clip system. Okay. Whoa. Like staring at the keyboard there. I like this floating cam though, it's pretty cool. All right, so anyway, so zoom out. So where the secret weapon tiles have a center connector, and then they have one on each of the outliers. For 5, you'd need 5 clips for a 2x2 board. I guess we could do the math and figure out how much it would require for a 4x4 board, but it's going to be quite a bit because 16 tiles as opposed to 4 here on the games and gear. But here, look at this is a clip system. It requires 8 clips on games and gears to keep these together. And the clip system is like this. They're basically these clips here. There's grooves cut out. How come I can't find my finger? There's grooves cut out right here. Right, and then this clip kind of pops in right there. This is a very it's a very stable system. It's a very rigid system, especially with 2 per join. It makes it quite strong, but you can see it's kind of a pain to pop tiles off and move things around. If you needed to do that quickly, it's not going to be very good for that. So stability, in fact, oh, I'm actually leaving out, you actually have, there are several places where you can connect. So I mean, if you really wanted a rigid board here that you just flip around, I could have added, it looks like 8 more clips, and this thing would have been, basically bulletproof. I could have doubled the clips to put these together. This is a more economical way of doing things. In fact, this should be, this joint out here should, if I'm going to do it economically, that joint out there should be here, and then you can there. So now I have some rigidity on the edge, and you can see how that works. Okay, so let's go ahead and flip this back over and continue to talk about the tiles. In fact, I'm gonna again, don't, ooh, scary. Ugh. Whoa. All right. Don't you like live streaming product reviews? That's right, I'm too lazy to edit this. I'm just going to shoot it all in one thing and upload it that way. But again, here's the top of the tiles again. So okay, so overall, I really like the Games and Gears battle boards. I think they're good, sturdy boards. They're very nice, very high quality. I don't know though. Now the type of gaming I do is highly varied, is portable, and I'm a painter. So for me, the Secret Weapon tablescapes fit my gaming lifestyle a little bit better. That said, I can see a lot of people moving towards the Games and Gears boards when they're on the shelves. Where I'm not going to talk about any heartaches or anything over the Kickstarter, but when these are on the shelves and people want to have high quality, a little more rigid type of table tiles, this is the way to go. The GW tiles are also fantastic too in this 2x2 range, but for me, again, I play a lot of different games. Tablescape, Secret Weapon tablescape works a little better for me. This though, I'll use for things. Again, I'll use this as I'll use this for Infinity. I'll use this for large multiplayer games of Relic Knights or Frostgrave. I'll also use this board for Anima Tactics. I know it's a shame. I don't really want to talk about it. Anima Tactics kind of makes me sad that the game got discontinued before the boards came out, but I'm going to be using this for Anima Tactics as well. So you guys can look forward to seeing this and the Secret Weapon tiles for future battle reports on this channel. So anyway, that's going to do it for this video. Want to thank everybody for watching. If you guys have any questions at all, feel free to leave them in the comments after this video uploads. I'm not actually looking at live comments right now. Okay, so that's going to do it for this video. Once again, thanks everybody for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.